Well, the last time we talked to Sean Young was in Blade Runner. Now, that is years ago. Hasn't been that long, I guess, but you know, I've been waiting for a picture like this. I've been waiting to see Sean Young up there as, like, in the lead role, or at least part of a co-leading role. Why hasn't that been happening? I know you've been in other films, big films, but it seems like you should be
A lot
up
of people say that to
by
me.
now.
Yeah,
Huh?
I have had that. I've heard that quite a lot.
Mhm.
You know, I've heard that quite a lot, and I feel the only way I can explain it is that I kind of have a desire to climb the mountain slowly, you know, and work my way up. And I've done 11 films now, and I think if I had a huge amount of attention now, there would never be a kind of knock her off that mountain attitude, because I'm a veteran now and I've worked and I've had experience and I feel confident with that. That's a very solid feeling for me. And
Well, and I think it's safe to say it's developing in the sense that I'm a big fan of yours,
yeah.
okay? There is that poised, almost glacial quality that you can do. But now here, you get down. You
My
get
glacial.
down in this picture. And
Yeah.
the scene in the car, I think, is a classic example. Yes, it's a torrid love scene, but you are enjoying yourself, and I think that's what we remember.
Yeah, it's a hard road to. For me, the character of Susan Atwell was a challenge because it was really necessary to keep her energy high, and that's a new role for me in general across the board. Her energy had to be high, and her sense of underlying deeper qualities, I didn't want to ever let them go, and I think there is a kind of desperation to her character. I think she's on a treadmill. I feel that she has something in her heart that she isn't able to look at yet. I feel that she, is needing something. I mean, that's why she kind of needs the Kevin Costner character, Tom Farrell. She needs him. It's not just that she loves him, she needs him. And there's a whole character that had to be brought to life regarding some of her vulnerabilities and her needs.
Well, you guys are absorbing each other through the pores.
Yeah, yeah. And
I mean,
it's almost automatic. The emotion is so intense there, and yet the energy of the character was almost put on as we were working, like icing. You make the cake, and the cake's there, and then right before we go to shoot, I crack a lot of jokes and get into humor and keep energy going and, get the energy up, 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 up. And that was a real consistent thing that I
how
had
long
to...
did it take you to shoot it? Because to maintain it over a period of time, I
Yeah.
mean, you're not out in the streets. This is a studio setup here.
Yeah. Well, you mean how many takes did it take?
Well, and just length of time, several days at least, a week maybe. How long would a sequence like that take?
What, the limo?
Mm-hmm.
1 day. We
You're
took that in
kidding.
1 day. Yeah, that was a 1 day deal. And I think that if it had lasted any longer than that, I might have, there were times when Kevin and I would just like stop and we'd look at each other like, all right, cut already, we can't keep this up forever. It's not easy to be in a love scene. Love scenes are very difficult and very demanding because you're in an intimate situation and you're not really intimate with the person and you're trying to be comfortable, you're trying to create privacy, you're trying to keep the energy up, you're trying to be real with the character, you're trying to remember some of the other aspects of the character as you go along. It's a lot to balance. Plus, I was in a situation where Kevin was very nervous, more nervous than me. The crew was very, had to be handled too. So in order for me to get what I needed in the circumstance, I had to calm everybody else down. And that was another consideration, So it was a rough day all around.
Were there any at all, were you at all reticent about the semi-nudity involved?
No.
How did you have to...
It's much more difficult for me to watch the nudity now, having been away from the character for like a year. Susan, there's a reason Susan brings Tom in that limo, personal reason. My character knows she's avoiding something. There's a whole lot of history that goes into that scene. So I can support myself as an actress by making a foundation. Now, the reason some love scenes don't work is because they don't have that foundation. They don't have the reality that it should be based on. So it becomes a very interesting scene to watch instead of an embarrassing scene.
Well, it's a classic already, don't you? I mean, you can tell,
well, that's
right?
nice of you to say.
Things about Sean Young we don't know. I just found out you're a painter, for example.
Yeah, a painter, dancer, singer.
Do you still keep up the dancing?
Oh, yeah, every day, yeah.
And when you paint, what?
Oh, well, my painting is kind of a less intense than my dancing and singing. I use painting to be relaxed, to be fulfilled, and I also like to use painting to do other artists, to study other artists. Like Gauguin and Van Gogh is my favorite.
Yes.
He is so intense, but he wasn't a happy man, was he? What did his
No.
art get him? And
Some
you
painters were
know,
happy. You seem happy.
yeah,
When
yeah.
you paint, you don't do it out of anguish, do you?
No,
Or
actually,
is it
I
out
do it
of
out of
just
peace.
enjoyment?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But there are other things I do out of, like dancing is something that I do to take up my energy and put it into a positive place rather than to, wait for another good role. If you want good roles, you're going to have to wait because they don't grow on trees. They're far and few between.